I don't believe they knew what they were selling. If you're selling a £400 jumper and an £800 jumper at £1 each, either you're nuts or you have no idea what you've got on you. Hi everyone, my name is Lee. Welcome to my channel Kola Flipper. I'm a UK reseller. I buy second-hand items at charity shops and car boot sales and flip them on eBay for a profit. So we're now in the middle of November. Clearly can't have gone to any car boot sales recently because we're in another lockdown, our second lockdown of 2020. But I still have a car boot sale haul to show you guys because I've been so busy over the year. This is literally a tub of stuff I bought from a car boot sale that I have not done a haul video on, haven't had a chance to list. It's just been out in storage waiting for me to do something with. And as I'm running low on things to talk about, let's get back to a haul video. So, I'm normally recording my haul videos straight after I've been to the car boot sale and everything is fresh in my mind. Peak season, I was doing 2 car boot sales a week, spending £100 to £200 each car boot sale. So basically I was hemorrhaging money and I just didn't have time to film my hauls every time. But now it's quieting down and we're back in lockdown. I'm starting to go through and list my items. So this is, believe it or not, whilst we're in the middle of November now, this is back from Sunday 9th of August. So yeah, quite a while ago. So it's not fresh in my mind, hence why I've got my notebook. Once I come home from a car boot, I'll write down the items, write down my prices that I've paid so I know what I'm doing for my taxes, etc. So whilst I normally remember stuff, I am going to have to refer to this because I really can't remember what was happening in August. So let's get cracking. This I picked up, one of my last items actually on the day, and it's a incomplete drum machine. Now, I only paid a £5 for this, but it is incomplete. Now, when I asked the lady about it, is it complete, is it working? She said, oh yeah, of course it is, yes, it's all fully working. No, she said it was incomplete, but it's all fully working. And it just made me think, how do you know it's working? Because you haven't got any of the bits there, so there's no power supply to it, there are no drum pads for it, and it's basically in the back, all your drum pads plug into it so you can do an electronic drum kit. It's even got the original plastic protective film on it, so this, from what I can see, has never been used. Looking at it, it looks absolutely immaculate, or it might have been used and just very, very well looked after. But the original labelling stickers telling you, what you plug in, etc., are not here. I've had a look for these without the power supply and without the drum pad. I think she wanted, how much did she want? I'm pretty sure she wanted a tenner for it, and I said because it hasn't got anything with it, would she take £5, which we settled on. As it is, without the bits and pieces, if I sell it as parts, I should be able to get around the £40 mark, so 5 into 40 is pretty good. But I am tempted. This feels like a quality item. It feels like this would have been way over 100 new. I haven't checked, probably should have done, or I might have checked at the time and forgotten. But this does feel like a quality item. So it's an Alesis DM10. I do need to have a look. So these prices I quote may be off, but I'm half tempted to do a little bit of research, see if I can get the drum pads second hand for this, and then sell it as a complete working item, assuming it works. So I've got a power supply which I can use to a universal one, which I can change the voltage to make sure it's the right size, right voltage, so at least I can turn it on. If it powers up, I've got to consider whether I get the parts in to try and sell it as a complete, or I could just take a picture of it showing it working, I'll go and buy a cheap power supply, sell it with it as a replacement one for someone who's already got the drum pads and the M10 is broken. So 5 into potentially 40, possibly more, depending on which way I decide to go. But yeah, that was an interesting little pickup there. So even though I know nothing about it, you can tell when an item is quality. I'll spring up so you can have a look. So there you go. Unless it's DM10, got the little selection click wheel and all the different inputs there. So for a £5, that's got to make me some money, that. So scratch what I said earlier, I thought it would go for 40 odd quid, maybe £50 without the drum pads. Turns out closer to 165, 170 quid. So yeah, need to get my power supply out to check it. An official power supply for this costs about 11 quid, so it might be worth me picking that up once I've tested it to make sure it's working. And it looks like I can get somewhere around the £170 mark, so £5 into 175, smashed it. I sell a lot of shoes and boots, and I tend to be quite picky with the very picky with the brands, and I find that certain brands sell better than others, or have more margin than others. Now, Carrimore, it's a well-known sort of outdoors brand, but I've never found that that Carrimore boots sell particularly well for me, or make a huge. They make a decent amount of profit, but not as much as I usually want to. I'm always pushing for making at least £20 after all my costs and fees, etc. But always open the box and check, because these are not Carrimore. These are Scarpa. So these are pretty filthed, need a damn good clean. You can see that there, Scarpa. I'm not going to get them out, even though I've got my car boot cloth out. That leather, I'm a bit of a master with leather. Yeah, I'm pretty good with leather, and I can make stuff look pretty damn good once I've given it a proper clean and nourish. Scarpa boots are expensive new, so once I've got these cleaned up, looking good, I should be able to turn. I think I paid £6 for these. I should be able to turn that into about 60. So yeah, 10 times my money. So not too bad. I tend to prefer getting leather rather than the synthetic man-made type fibres, because I know that I can, as I'm good with leather, I can make them look much better and add value. And if I'm adding value, I'm adding profit. So this will take me 10 minutes of cleaning, let them dry, then I'll do the nourishing with the leather and making them look nice, another 10 minutes. So 20 minutes all in, and I should be able to sell these for over £60 without any trouble at all. I'll probably put them up higher than that and see where it goes, but yeah, that should be no problem at all. So what I was talking about with brands though was these were sitting there in the Carrimore box, and I nearly walked past them and didn't look inside. I went, flipped it open, saw that it had Scarpa on it. Right, I'm having those. So at £6, that's an absolute steal for me. But if you see a box on the floor, don't forget to flip it open. This could have been CDs, it could have been gold, it could have been anything. But yeah, don't be put off if you see that it's some cheapo brand shoebox on the floor. You don't know what is in there. People at car boot sales are not, typically are not good salespeople. They're clearing out their house, and you'll find people, they'll bring stuff out and they'll just put bags of stuff on the floor and don't even open up the bag so people can see what's in it. They'll have books or DVDs where the spines aren't showing, so you can't see them, so it's a hassle to go through it. In the mornings, if I'm in a rush, I will kind of go past those, because if I want to pick the low-hanging fruit first, but when I do a second or a third round around the car boot sale, I will spend more time flipping open boxes and looking, and often I will find a little bit of, I was going to say gold, not actual gold, but I will find a quality item that's been passed over because other people haven't bothered to flick open the boxes. I don't always do that first thing because I'm trying to get around as many stores as I possibly can, so there's got to be a bit of a balance. But yeah, just moral of the story is be sensible, make sure you look inside the boxes, because you will sometimes get something which is better than you thought. Right, next item. Right, next item, couple of pairs of shoes. So first ones, I do like picking up trainers, tends to be decent margins in trainers. So these are a pair of Adidas. I tend to pick up more Nikes than I do Adidas. Adidas tend to stick around for longer, but depending on the shoe, I will pick them up depending on the shoe and the price. These, I'm trying to remember, are these NR1s? What are these? NMD R1 trainers, and they're Adidas Boosts. So they need a bit of a clean up, but otherwise they are in pretty good condition. I paid £1 for these. I should be able to flip that for somewhere between 25 and 30. They are dirty, they will need a proper clean, but again, if I can spend 10-15 minutes cleaning those up and I can turn £1 into 25, that's £1 and 20 minutes well invested. If they were in pristine condition, would I have paid more? Yes, I would, because I've saved my 20 minutes of cleaning. So I do value my time. So if something's dirty, I will still consider picking up, but I will also consider how long of my day am I going to spend on cleaning that? Is that worth my effort? So depends on how much I've got. At the minute, I've got a lot of stock. So depending on how much I've got in my stores, I will tend to pick up fewer items that need work and only pick up items that are ready to rock and roll. If I'm at the start of the season when I didn't have a lot of stock and lockdown had just opened up, I was buying things that often needed more effort putting into them because I didn't know if lockdown was going to kick in again quickly or not. So it's always, you've got to balance it up with what you've already got in stock and what the situation is. So for £1 and I need to put some work in, that makes sense. Got to work things out. Right, next item. I'm not a fan of a wedge. I think a wedge makes your foot look like a horse's hoof. But from what I understand, they're a very comfortable heel. So, pick these up. We've got some wedge espadrilles. They're not just any wedge espadrilles. Ralph Lauren. So these are Lauren by Ralph Lauren. Picked up wedge espadrilles before. I think the last ones I had were slingbacks and they needed a bit of work. These ones I paid £3 for, so a nice canvas upper, got leather patched there. Inside is the rope. You've got heel and toe pads because you get more wear there, and the actual espadrille woven sole has been encased in like a clear rubber. So £3. It's not really the time of year to sell them at the moment, but then saying that, I sell all sorts of random stuff out of season, so I just need to get them cleaned up and put on there on eBay, and they should go quite well. Ralph espadrilles, so these cost me £3. I should be able to flip them for 25 to 30. So again, decent profit margins in shoes, even if I think they look ugly. Personal preference, but I don't stop it from me from buying stuff. I bought a pair of Emma Hope mules a little while. I know the slingbacks a little while ago. I didn't really like them, but you could see the amount of effort and detail, effort and work that went into detail. You could see they're expensive. So even if I don't particularly personally like something, it doesn't stop me buying it because I know that someone will like it and you'll make some money. So last items, shoe-wise, are a pair of, I don't know what the colour is. It's kind of like a beigey peach, and these are Nike Blazers. With regards to blazers, I tend to not pick up suede ones as much as I used to because there's, yes, I can clean suede and I can get it looking good, but it's more effort than cleaning up leather. So unless they're dirt cheap, I tend to stay away from them. Canvas ones as well. These leather, much easier and quicker for me to clean up. These ones need a quick clean, so again, let's say 15 to 20 minutes on cleaning these. And also, if you look inside there, you can see there's lots of black bubbles. It's basically bobbling from someone's sock. I've got two fabric shavers, one for clothing and one for shoes. So I've got a small one, which is a cheapo one I got off of Amazon or eBay, a couple of quid, and I'll de-bobble the insides of these because of that makes the shoe look ugly and worn out. By de-bobbling that, it will elevate my pictures and my item above other similar items. So if you've got someone looking for whatever size this is, what is this? This is a size UK 6. They're looking for a UK 6 in that colour, and you've got my one, which is a couple of quid more, but they look pristine because they don't have the minging bobbling inside. I'm sure someone's going to pay the extra couple of quid to get the ones that look better. That's how I see it, and for me it takes a couple of extra minutes to do, adds value again. So that was £6 out. Blazers, I tend to get anywhere around the sort of 25 to 30 mark, depending on how long I hold out for. These are in very good condition. They just need a bit of a clean. So I would have thought an easy 25 should be achievable on these. So that was it for shoes. I'll crack on with the next items. I've got a big old tub of clothes here. So I can't remember an awful lot, so I am going to have to refer to my my notebook. First items. Caramel. Yes, I remember buying these together. Let's have a look. I think I did anyway. So got a nice AllSaints, this long sleeve t-shirt rather than a sweatshirt. Button down, but the button down collar is a weird one. It buttons down on the inside, so you can actually have it buttoned in and have it look more like a granddad shirt without a collar, or you can have the collar popped out. So I paid £3. AllSaints and the Karen Millen vest top, £3 for that, and I'm assuming this, that's my Karen Millen vest top, here we go. So Karen Millen t-shirt, so that feels like satin or silk at the top, got a weird little Karen Millen D-ring there, no idea what that's for, and then that wraps around and you've got the little D on that side. So a pair of those for £3. AllSaints and Karen Millen, always good sellers for me. Not sure what I'm going to get comps wise on that. Probably not an awful lot. I might only put that up for 15, probably take a tenner on that. Not normally the sort of profit I go for, but when you can get 2 items for £3, the pair of them will average a decent amount. This top, this AllSaints one, I would have thought I should be able to get an easy, I'll put it up for probably 27 and I'll take around the £20 mark. So between the two of them, say £3 into about £30, that's not bad. Can't complain with that. Right, next item. We have got a Hobbs jumper. Hobbs is one of my favourite brands to pick up. So it's the Hobbs in the size 12. Feels nice. What is this? 100% wool. Always check all your buttons are there. So all your buttons, couldn't see any holes. Little bit of minor bobbling that I need to sort out, but my fabric shaver will sort that out. Fabric shaver is well worth buying. I think yeah, I've got the link for the ones I use in Amazon. I use a Philips one. I think I paid 13 quid for it. The link will take you to 2 or 3 different versions of it. Just get whichever colour is the cheapest at the time. It is far superior to any other fabric shavers I've used, and it means that you can get something which someone's getting rid of because for cheap, because it's bobbled, and you can make it look fantastic again. So this is £3, Hobbs stuff, depending on what it is. So if for example it was a cashmere jumper or top, I would be pushing for higher up, sort of £40 plus. As a wool one, I still should be able to achieve somewhere in the 20s, 20 to 30 quid I would have thought, without too much of a problem. I know some people think that I price quite high and unrealistically. Clothing is small, £3 outlay, I don't mind sitting on my shelf for a while, and it's causing me no harm, stress, hassle. It's packed up neatly, out of the way, and at some point someone will pay what I want or close enough to what I want. I will accept the offer. So yeah, I'll probably list at high 20s to low 30s, and I'll take a sensible offer. So nice profit to be made on that one. Next one. This is a Karen Millen jean shirt. Again, I do love a bit of Karen Millen. As high-end high street goes, just their attention to detail and the quality of the manufacturing. I just really like it. So this was £2.50 for a denim top. Again, all the buttons are present. Each button, it's metal, it's monogrammed with Karen Millen on it. This is a size 10. Other little details that I like, that all of the seams on this are triple stitched. So rather than just as a detail, I really like that. They've put the effort in to make something. So there's the back. So put the effort in to make the item look nice. So that's why I like Karen Millen. But the article is genuinely very well made. Just a shame that they went into administration. So they went into administration not this time round, but previous to this financial crisis, and they don't have any high street presence at all anymore. All their shops are shut. You can still buy Karen Millen stuff new, but it's a much reduced range. And they got bought out by Boohoo, so yes, you can get their stuff, but it is only through Boohoo, and I don't know whether that means that the quality, whilst they may have bought the name, I do wonder whether the quality is going to go down, because Boohoo's known for fast fashion, and Karen Millen was known for quality, so I don't know how that's going to work out, and if the quality is going to continue. But that was £2.50. I'll probably list that for low 30s, high 20s, and should easily make around 20-ish profit. So yeah, still happy with that. What have I got next? Right, next couple of items. These were on a rack where everything was £1. Typically, I do worry, everything's £1, makes me think that it's just going to be a load of you can kind of tell when a seller is just, they've got bin bags full of clothes and they've either got them spread on the floor or hung up, or pulled out and then hung up. And you wonder, are they buying this from, so you get the charity shop can't shift it after 8 weeks, 10 weeks. They get sold on to the Ragman. The Ragman then divvies it up into bundles, sells it on eBay. People then buy it, sell them on at car boot sales. It's just a cycle of took going around and around. And you often wonder, is a lot of this stuff that's been through the round? So the good items are more than likely going to have been picked out. Not in this case. This lady, it was just piles and piles of stuff which looked like it had been bought. I'm assuming it was bought from the Ragman, but it looks like it had been bought in bulk, because all the sizes were different, the styles were different, and it didn't look like someone selling off their personal stuff. However, that doesn't mean you should be put off, because if people don't know the brands, you can still end up picking up some amazing stuff. So I've got two lots coming up where it's people who are selling on selling on stuff where it does not appear to be theirs, but they do not know the value of what they have, and that's where knowledge comes in. So £1 for a pair of AllSaints, again, do like a bit of AllSaints short shorts. I've got no idea how anyone's meant to fit into these, but £1 you can't go wrong. Not the season to be selling them. Honestly, I haven't checked up on comps for those. I don't know what they'll go for, but £1, that should be an easy flip, and I should easily be able to make a tenner. Like I say, I normally like to make my £20 profit, but on something which is a good quality brand like AllSaints, don't mind making a little bit less if it's small, easy to store, easy to ship. And that's what I've got here. Small, easy to store, easy to ship. Cost me £1. I should be able to make minimum of a £10 profit, but I don't know the comps, I might be able to get more. So, excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat, but not a lot I can do about that. Next on the rack, I picked out, so she probably had, I'm going to say somewhere around the sort of 150, 200 items on her rack of clothing. I picked out 3, and that's it. So percentages wise, you've got to, the numbers aren't on your side, so you need to be able to go through them quickly, and you need to be able to spot decent brands. Again, got another AllSaints top here, and this sort of dress. This is look at that, it's a batwing style, so really wide on the arms. The arms meet where the bottom arm, the arm does not meet at your armpit and then a separate piece of cloth there. It gets sewn into the waistband, so your arm goes down to the waistband. So it's a big batwing type dress. nice pleating on the front, AllSaints. There is wear to it, but there are no holes, no rips, no marks. So that again was £1. I shouldn't see any issue with selling that for around the mid-20s. So yeah, that'll get photographed up nicely. I will have to display. It's not always easy when with a normal top, when you're hanging it. I have mannequins, so I guess you'll be able to see the drape on that hanging on the mannequin, how it would look around a human figure. Not everyone uses mannequins for their photos. You don't need to. I personally think people like to buy something when they can see how it hangs and drapes off a human form. So I've got a size 8 mannequin, I've got a size 14 mannequin, and then I've got a men's mannequin. And then certain items I will flat lay and take photos there. But depends on what you've got, what space you've got. All my mannequins are the front ones that hang up on the wall, so they all fit inside each other. So even though I've got 3 hanging mannequins, they all fit in that sort of size space. So yeah, it depends on what space you've got and how you want to do it. If you don't do a lot of clothing, don't invest in them. If you do, up to you. So yeah, should be £1 into somewhere around the 20-ish pound mark plus. And then got a Reiss sweater. So this is not knitted. This is like a thick t-shirt material, but it doesn't feel thick enough to be like a sweatshirt, so somewhere in between. So again, Reiss, one of my favourite brands. This is the men's medium, nice colour, fits me. Either for me or for sale. If I'm not decided on that yet. I quite like that. So this one's like a, rather than having a shoulder seam, the seam comes in up here. Can't see it because of it's called a raglan top. So you often get it with like baseball type shirts where you'll have the body in one colour, like white, and then the sleeve in a darker colour. That's called a raglan top, but it's the same construction where the shoulder, the armpit goes up. The seam for the shoulder is the armpit all the way up to the neckline, where on this top I've actually got the arm sewn on there. So it's a raglan top construction, but not your typical raglan top where you've got your different colours of the materials. Okay, maybe that's why it's £1. There's a stain under the armpit. Not on both, just on one. So that'll go in the wash. If that doesn't come out, then that's a £1 top for me to work in the garage in and not worry if I get dirty or not. But as long as that comes out, that should be an easy £20 again. So can't complain with that. Right, on to the next bit. So next items again had come off a clothing rack where it appeared the sellers were not selling their own items. All different types of clothing, men's, women's, all different sizes. Stuff was spread out all over the floor. It did not appear to be theirs. So I don't believe they knew what they were selling, and that has been a bit of a Brucey bonus for me. So standardish item and then something potentially a little bit special. So these are Adidas formal trousers, and you think why on earth would Adidas make formal looking trousers? When you actually feel them, it feels like a technical sort of fabric. These are golf trousers. So my thoughts are everything on the rack was £1. So when everything's £1, you got to do well when you get something decent that's a decent brand. So in this case it was some Adidas golf trousers at £1. I don't know what the comps are on these, but when you've got something branded at £1, you can't go wrong. So even if I only sell them for sort of 13, 14 quid, something like that, it's still going to be an easy £10 profit in there. Easy to pack, easy to post, unbreakable. Yes, I like my £20 profit, but on an easy item like that, it's not the end of the world. The next two items, one super special, one might be special. Now the one that might be is this. As I'm going through the rack, flicking through, whilst I did not recognise the brand, it felt nice. And you tend to learn when you're touching certain clothes that certain materials will feel nice. So stuff like cashmere or merino wool, that sort of stuff, all of a sudden you're like, oh, that feels different, better have a look at that. This is by a company called Liguori, Liguori, Italian brand. Not one I'm familiar with, but as soon as I touched it I was like, that feels nice. Looked at the buttons, the button looked quality, the label it looked good. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but yeah, it looked good. As I'm looking through, I'm thinking, right, let's have a proper look at this. And it's got the wool mark on it. So 100% virgin wool. You flick through. Made in Italy. Okay, alright, so it is definitely an Italian brand. It feels nice, made in Italy, and it's extra fine merino wool. So even not knowing the brand, I'm buying that. If it's merino wool, cashmere, it's in good condition, I'm going to buy it at £1. You can't go wrong. It turns out that Liguori is quite a high-end manufacturer. I don't believe they exist anymore as far as I know. I could be wrong, but I believe they may have got bought out by Brioni or have something to do with Brioni, quality brand. So £1, you can't go wrong. Very, very few comparables on eBay for Liguori. It appears that second hand, I reckon I should be able to get at least 70 quid for it. I did see some brand new with tagged ones on eBay, not jumpers, other bits and pieces, for around the 150 mark. It appears new. This would have been around the £400 mark for a jumper. So yeah, quite chuffed at £1. So once I got to this particular item in the rack, it's like, right, they've got some quality bits and pieces here. Let's keep an eye open. Whether or not I get 60-70 quid, I don't know. There were not many comparables, not many for sale. So whilst it may have been a very expensive item, if people don't know the brand and they're not looking for it, no one's going to look for something. So people may not buy it. So I might end up having to sell it out at a lower price. But at £1, for a merino wool top, thin jumper, extra fine merino, there's no way I can't make 20 quid on that when I buy it for £1. So even though I don't know the brand, it was worth taking the risk. If it all goes wrong, I've got something that fits, probably too big for me. It's £1, I'll still probably wear that at £1, but there's no way I can't sell that for over 20 quid. I'm going to push for around the £70 mark, see what happens. Now, this was something a bit special. I kind of wish I'd buttoned it up now before I brought it out. So as I was mentioning there, the Liguori top, I did mention another brand called Brioni. Brioni is, I only know Brioni. There's a friend of the family who's a doctor, who's a surgeon. And I just remember him talking about Brioni before, and I'm thinking, Christ, he's got a nice car, and he's talking about this Brioni company. And I remember him talking about Brioni suit, and when I actually looked up the cost, I mean, some of the Brioni suits are £3,000 and £4,000 upwards. So that is what you're looking for, Brioni. Brioni, again, is one of the companies that used to make James Bond suits. So if James Bond's wearing it, it's going to be good. Another one to look out for is a company called N.Peel, N.P-E-A-L, Peel. N.Peel do James Bond's jumpers currently, but Brioni is a brand to look out for. This, is it cashmere or merino? It's super, super soft. Oh, there we go. 70% cashmere, 30% silk. And again, it's one of those ones that as you're flicking through, you feel it, and then you have a look, and it's like, wow, that's a bit good, that. Now, there is one snag on this particular one, and when I say snag, I literally mean snag. At some point, there has been a hole in here which has been stitched up. Now, I didn't notice that when I bought it, and even if I had noticed that when I was buying it, at £1, I'm still buying a bit of Brioni. So the repair looks good. Not the best repair in the world, but it's done quite well. I might redo that myself, not sure yet. With regards to whether it's real or fake, I don't know if people fake Brionis, but for me it was all about the attention and the detail. Instantly I could feel that's quality, and I know what a cashmere silk mix feels like because I've sold cashmere silk mix jumpers before. The way that the shoulder construction is made, the way that the detailing on the buttons, all these little things help you ascertain whether something is a high value item or not. Now, that cardigan, it's not an interesting colour. More vibrant colours seem to sell more quickly and for slightly higher amounts in any brand. So whether grey holds that back, I don't know, possibly. But at £1, I don't care. That hole, would I have bought it? Yeah, even with the hole, I still would have bought this because it's Brioni. I'm taking a punt. I will still be able to make a decent margin on it. I would have thought if this was in pristine condition, I would have this up for sale at over 100. Someone, I'm sure, would put in some cheeky offers, and I would probably take around the. This would have been probably £800 or £900 new. I would have probably taken around 85 upwards if I'd have been taking offers, but as this is one with a hole, I'm not gonna list it for as much. I'll probably list it for around the 70 mark and probably take closer to 50. But I need to make sure I can that hole, which is already mended, I need to see if I can get that done slightly better, make it invisible. We'll see what we can do. It could be that I have to put 2 seams in there to darts, make it more fitted, and that will hide the hole. Need to have a think about that. I'll just bring it up so you can see the actual details on the buttons, because that helps you see the quality of the item. And when you're looking for stuff, it's the quality items, quality manufacturing techniques and tells which make you think. If you don't know the brand, but you know you can see it's well made, you know whether to take a punt or not. So here's a close up of the label. So there's the Brioni label. Size 52 Italian or European is about a 42 regular in the UK. And then, here we go. 70% cashmere, 30% silk, made in Italy. Got hand washing details on there. That's what I was talking about, quality construction. Look at the way that the insides of the shoulders are put together. And then the detail on the button. I would assume that is real mother of pearl. You've got that beautiful iridescence in the button. When you get close, you should be able to see the Brioni engraving on it. I don't know if I can get the angle right. You can see it's got nice Brioni detailing in there. That is if you come up close, if I bring it right up, you can see there's a repair there. Now you can see it quite clearly at that angle, but it's not that easy to see. So I need to have a think where I'm going to place this price wise. So yeah, Brioni is a definite bolo. But I need to have a think about how I'm going to market that with a hole, whether it's worth me getting it, paying up and getting an invisible repair done, or selling it as it is. Either way, my pound is safe. I've done well there. But yeah, another good brand to keep an eye out for. I wonder if, yeah, because Brioni and Liguri, if the brands are related, maybe these two items have come from the same person. Maybe I'm wrong about the people that bought it off, but I don't believe they knew what they were selling. If you're selling a £400 jumper and an £800 jumper at £1 each, either you're nuts or you have no idea what you've got on you. Next items. Right, last 2 items. And I hummed and hawed about these a bit. So this one is a Diane Von Furstenberg dress. You can't go wrong with a bit of DVF. So that's the label, Diane Von Furstenberg. I saw this early on at the car boot. Nice dress. So nice sheath dress, nice little V on it, fully lined. I'm assuming that's wool, I'll have a look in a moment. It's a size 12, and the lady wanted 20 quid for it, and I hummed and hawed about it, and I offered her less, which she wouldn't take. And I hummed and hawed and went backwards and forwards. I hummed and hawed about it, and I think she said, look, the lowest I can take is 15. And I thought, still too much. So I walked away. And that was just going through my head. Every rack I was going up and down, I thought, is that too much? And I did have a look at comps. And they do vary a bit, but it was 65 to 85 quid. And I thought, you know what, 65 to 85 quid, after fees, even if I'm paying up 15, 17 quid, whatever, that's still worth it. So I did go back. I tend to not like to spend a lot of money early on at the car boot sale, and then my brain kicked in, why don't you want to spend money? If you don't spend money, you can't make money. This is an easy, an easy money maker. £15 to 60 plus. Doesn't matter if I spent £5 or 15 or 30 quid. If I can make that margin, why wouldn't I buy it? My brain kicked in, I cut through the lanes, went back, and it was still there, luckily. And I think it's only because she was quite stern on her pricing and didn't want to drop below 15. And to be fair, when it's a 60 to 85 pound dress, I wouldn't want to drop either. And it is, it's lovely. So got a zip at the back. Inside it, so as I said, fully lined. There is, again, I wouldn't even thought this sort of stuff would be faked, but you've got a holographic logo, which I'll show you in a moment, and the outer is a mixture of cotton, polyester, wool and alpaca, so it should be nice and warm. Oh, on the label on the inside there's a little silver pen writing 130, so maybe it was £130 new, don't know. But I'll just come up and show you that on the label. So there you go. There you go, DVF, Diane Von Furstenberg. You've got a little hologram there with DVF on it. And here is, that's what you're looking for when you're cracking through the rail, Diane Von Furstenberg. So yeah, that should be 15 into 65 to 85. I'll be a happy boy. Last item. As I mentioned when I was looking at the Diane Von Furstenberg dress, I ummed and ahed about that a lot. And if it's a cheaper item, I don't and ah. You just go and get it. If it's a more expensive item, obviously you're risking more money. So whilst I always talk about making my £20 profit minimum, if I can, unless it's a very, very quick flip item, for an item that's more expensive, it may sit on my shelf for longer, and I have to weigh up the benefits of whether I want a quick flip item or invest more for an item that makes a bigger margin. So decent margins on the DVF dress, but I had to invest £15. Whereas you look at some of the other clothing I bought, and I've been buying it at £1 each. So one dress, or I could get 15 other items. So there is definitely things you need to work out. By having a combination of them, it means I've got my risks split over quicker moving, smaller items and a fewer key items, which I should make more money on because I've risked a higher amount. And it was the same for these. I've seen these, so this is I guess a reseller at a car boot sale. They obviously know their gear because they didn't want to sell it at a silly low price. And it is a pair of Dolce Gabbana trousers. So these are a wool and silk mix. I think they've got polyamide in there as well. So sort of a tweeds, well actually no, it's a herringbone pattern. Woven herringbone. Dolce & Gabbana. Little things to look out for are the details, like around the edges of the button you've got an engraved D&G. Inside you've got all your labelling looks like proper D&G labelling, and then you've got, whilst it's coming off, there's a D&G hologram in there as well. If you are worried about buying fake stuff, it's usually more the big shouty, look at me, I've got Dolce Gabbana emblazoned all over a t-shirt or a jumper or a hoodie or something like that. Those are the items that are easier to fake and more likely to be faked. When you're talking about a pair of trousers or a dress and you can see the workmanship and the quality and the detail in it, there's no way that another company's going to fake these. You can see the quality in it, and it's too much effort. A t-shirt to print up, or a hoodie to print up, or a pair of sliders or whatever with D&G on them, they're going to be fake because they can make things like that really quickly without any effort. This is a quality item. Lady there, she tended to have quality items, and I'd seen her and she'd had these at her stall, the two previous car boots. She had up at 25 the first week. Denard decided to leave it. Following week she had them up at 20 when I asked again. Well, I think she I asked and she went down to 20, still more than I really wanted to pay. And I left them. On the third Sunday around, she recognised me because I've got my tap trolley, I've got my mask on, I look distinctive with that silly mask on, and I'm the only bloke pushing around a push chair full of clothing and another took. She recognised me and said, I've still got those trousers, make me an offer. And I'd been making not silly offers. She was asking for 25 and 20 before, and I'd been offering at 15 and didn't want to go above it. And we met in the middle at 17, was it 17.50 or 17? 17.50. So £17.50 for a pair of genuine Dolce Gabbana trousers that would have been way over 100 quid new. Quite happy with that. I should be able to sell these for somewhere between 50 and 60 quid. So whilst my return on investment percentage isn't amazing, so for example some of my £1 items I'll be able to flip for £25, that's a decent return on investment percentage wise. They'll make 20 quid, 18 quid, 17 quid. When I've got something like this at 17, if I can then flip that for say 60, that's, whilst the percentage isn't as much, the actual cash profit is greater. So it's good to have a mix of items that you're selling around the £20 mark, which flip a little bit quicker than something that sells around the 65 to 80, £100 mark, which will take longer to flip, but your actual profit is going to be a lot more. But that's I don't design my buys on that way, it just tends to be that way, but it's something I always have in my mind, is thinking about the bigger picture. This is, I'm not mucking around, this is a business. I have a full-time job, I don't have a lot of time on the side for other stuff, so I need to make my time work for me, and that means I need items that are either quick to flip or make me decent margin. When I say decent, everything ideally should average out, that everything I bought here, when it's all sold, I will average over £20 per item. There is nothing here that should go for less than £10 profit. The vast majority I should make around approximately £20 profit, and then I've got a few items that should make me £40 or more profit. And that's what it's about, having that balanced outlook of spreading your risks and looking at making your buying decisions make you a profit rather than putting in the hard work. I've got a day job where I get paid by the hour. Here I get paid by making a good buying decision and a good selling decision. Yes, I still need to put a bit of time in with cleaning and photography and listing, but the profit, the main bulk of the profit, is not made on how well I've cleaned something, it's what I bought it for and what I'm selling it for. It's about making a good decision. So if you're going to take anything from my videos, it's about being more conscious about your buying and selling decisions. As a full-timer, I would have to buy a lot more variety, not just in items, but a variety of smaller profit and higher profit items just to get a constant flow of business. My income from this is very lumpy. I'll get nothing. I'll get a lot of zero sales days. Nothing, 20 quid, nothing, 80 quid, nothing, 160, nothing, 30 quid, nothing. It's all over the place. But because I'm not reliant on that income, I have my day job which pays my standard wage. Anything that comes in on top is a bonus. So whether that comes in dribs and drabs and lumps doesn't matter a monkeys to me. So as a part-timer, this is a perfect side gig to have. And I've probably got 18-20 grand's worth of stock littered around the house and in storage in the garage. I've only got about 5 grand listed. How much does that cost me? I don't know, it's all paid for itself. I started off, I invested about £1 grand initially. Once that money had come back into the business, that came back to me. So everything else, all this 20 odd thousand pounds worth of stock is essentially free. So as that money comes in, a portion of it gets reinvested into buying new used to resell on. The rest of it goes in a pot for family stuff. It means that we can buy a nicer bottle of wine when I go and get a bottle of wine at the supermarket. It means that I can treat the family from time to time. It means that instead of going for when we rented a cabin for a holiday this year, rather than going and spending £400 or £500 on a accommodation for a week, we could spend £1,000. The money, the extra money, just means that we can treat ourselves without feeling any guilt. And the reality is, it's cost me nothing but a bit of hard work and making good decisions. So if you take anything from me, be conscious about the decisions you're making, because that's what makes you money. And that's me talking a load of toot. So anyway, thanks for watching. My name's Lee. You have been watching me on Kola Flipper. Hopefully you've learned something from that. If you have, please put a thumbs up. Put a comment in if you've got any questions, or you'd like to say anything about what I've been doing, or if this helps you. Anything that you'd like me to do in the future. And hopefully it's nice to see another haul video, because no one's doing haul videos now, because no one's going to car boot sales except me, who's got it all stored in tubs because I've been lazy. Let's not say lazy, let's say busy. Anyway, I'll see you next time.